These are some of the rarest limited edition tech products on the entire planet. So that's phones, yes, but also bigger things, like literally the biggest limited edition product I've ever unboxed. And we're gonna start with something pretty cutting edge, but only in the very literal sense. This is a £45 or $56 razor. Oh my God, this package is insane. How much do they think I lift? Oh my God, crikey. This isn't for gamers by gamers, this is for bodybuilders by psychopaths. But yeah, this razor is made in what must be the weirdest tech collab I've ever seen. Gillette and Razer, you know, the gaming company. Apparently this is a magnetic display stand, but I have doubts. And it says for gamers by gamers, which I find kind of hilarious as the last thing your hair will ever see. But you know what's even stranger about all of this? It originated as an April Fool's joke. In 2023, Razer made this absolutely ridiculous trailer for a fictional product, a mouse that you could also use to keep your facial hair in check while gaming, because, you know, us real gamers don't leave the basement for months at a time. And while obviously they didn't make that trailer had such a vocal reception that it must have triggered the thought, wait a sec, why doesn't Razer make a razor? Did it do a good job? Did it? I can't see. It's actually a really good shape, which I'm not actually surprised by, because this is a limited edition version of the exact same Gillette Labs razor that I've just recently showed you I've been carrying around every day in my backpack anyway. Do you mind filming from that side only? I've not had hair on here for 8 years, probably. But now we move all the way up to $300 with the Starfield Chronomark smartwatch. For those of you who don't know, Starfield was one of the most hyped video game launches in recent history. It was meant to be open world exploration, but on an interplanetary scale. Like, you see a planet or a moon, you can land on that planet or moon. I mean, the game had to be a pretty big deal for them to make a custom smartwatch just for the limited edition version of it. So this is the Steelbook display case, inside of which, no way, that's a cred stick. These are the, for some reason, physical currency in this space-age futuristic setting. And on the back is the code to redeem the game. That is such a smart way to fuse the game's world into the real world. But this is what you're mostly paying for, the Chronomark watch, which again, is an actual in-game item that you play with. Oh, well done, Aaron. Me and my butterfingers. But I gotta say, whoever designed this packaging needs a pat on the back. I mean, this is proper metal running down the sides. The detailing as well. I feel so immersed. And then to open it, wait, so pull down and then twist. Oh my God. The nerd inside of me is struggling to cope. So this is a Constellation patch. Constellation is the faction trying to uncover the mysteries of the universe. This thing is called the Chronomark watch, established in 2188. That's pretty cool. And then, oh, this interior material is incredible. It's like really bouncy rubber. And then the watch itself. It feels a lot more premium than I was expecting it to. All the plastic areas have this nice matte finish, and then all the metallic areas are actual metal. Oh, not bad. You know what? It can actually do quite a lot too. So obviously it tells the time, but what's quite clever is because the clock hands go around the edge of the screen at all times, you can keep reading the time while also doing other things. Wish my Apple Watch had that. So it's got the current moon phase, it's got a temperature sensor, barometer, magnetometer. It's coming pretty close to making me feel like a real astronaut. Accelerometer, so you know it can measure your steps, and it also connects to your phone via Bluetooth. So if I tap this, for example, yeah, I can play and pause the songs from my phone's Spotify. It's definitely not an Apple Watch replacement. It's a simple watch, but just done really well. And you got to admit, there is something so uniquely surreal about wielding in your real hands items that you spent the last 6 months holding in your virtual hands in a video game. It looks like every time you turn it off, it gives you a different parting message or quote from a sci-fi movie. This feels an awful lot like a 9 out of 10 to me. Now this is where being able to look at all limited edition tech and not just phones starts to get juicy. When two companies do a cool special collab, we can test the full suite of products that come from it. So you know Transformers, right? Well, Bumblebee is one of the most famous. He's one of the Autobots, the good guys. And while not the biggest or the strongest, he tries very hard, and that's endearing in its own way. So, the tech company Red Magic decided to bottle his yellow puppy dog energy into a mouse, a keyboard, and a phone. So first is the mouse. They call this the Ultra Edition, and to to be fair, they price it like an Ultra Edition too, but that does mean a few cool things though. See, when you really get into mice, it's not just about how smooth it glides across your surface, it's also about the level of sensitivity. How many pixels or dots that your mouse cursor moves across per inch that you physically move your mouse, or the DPI. A normal office mouse might go up to like 2000 DPI or 5000 DPI. Gaming mice like this one, 26,000. Okay, so this is the lowest DPI setting. Oh my goodness, that's painful. Yeah, you could not play like that. You turn it around, you click the DPI button, and it turns it up. Now, straight away, this is like the stock DPI that most non-gaming mice would ship with. And it's workable. I now only have to move my wrist instead of my whole arm. So let's go up another level. Oh, okay. So this is starting to feel very sensitive. This feels like enough DPI for any kind of competitive gamer who needs twitch controls and the ability to kind of instantly spin around. So what happens when we go up again? Okay, it's starting to get a little bit dizzy with this motion. But I suppose the benefit of this is that now I barely need to move. My physical movements are now basically imperceptible, but you can see how much difference it's making on the screen. The mouse is accurate enough that it feels like you're taking full advantage of that DPI, and it's not disorienting. The design, though, it does look sick. It's pretty nice and meaty to grip onto. And if we just plug it in, oh yes. The LEDs are tastefully done, I gotta say. It's not too much, it's just the logo at the back and then these two on either side of the mouse buttons, which I assume are Bumblebee's eyes. So the lights actually turn on when you leave the mouse on standby, but then as soon as you grip it and move it, they turn off. It does make a lot of sense for a Bluetooth mouse, because you don't want to spend all of your precious battery life lighting up his eyes. Although I will say, glossy translucent plastic is an interesting choice for the single tech product most prone to fingerprints. And by interesting, I of course mean brain dead, because good luck keeping this clean. But I do feel like it's going to look really cool together once we've unboxed all the Bumblebee stuff. So, keycap remover, a braided cable, and this is the mechanical keyboard. Ooh la la, yes! This is like the most unashamedly committed to the brief design I think I've ever seen. It's got a brushed aluminium body. This feels good. I love the slightly passive-aggressive win more games motif that they've got plastered across it. Like, okay, I'll try. It also just feels like a really nicely built keyboard. This is one of Red Magic's first mechanical keyboards ever, and it's quite difficult to get this much right on your first attempt. So you can toggle your lighting effects by pressing FN insert. Whoa, there's some really funky ones. And having this like dedicated lighting strip really draws your attention to it. You can toggle colors with FN plus delete, and then the speed of the animation and the brightness of the keys with FN plus your arrow keys, which is a pretty nicely done system because you've got complete control without needing any external programs. But I will say the lighting is not the brightest. If you look from the side, you can see the keyboard has quite a significant downward slope, which some people like for, key reachability, but I personally find a bit of a pain. Like, literally a bit of a pain, because I've caused myself quite a bit of hand trouble from all this arching. But here's the question on my mind. Why is there a screen on the keyboard? We just finally got rid of screens on keyboards on the MacBooks. Now we got another one. Okay, so it gives you volume control. Well, that's kind of pointless, since volume control is literally a key press away anyway. You can monitor your computer's performance, which again, your computer internally monitors its own stats anyway. And then you've got control over lighting, brightness, speed, color. So it's literally a complete duplication of the functionality already embedded within the keyboard. That's a bit disappointing. I was expecting the screen to add some sort of new dimension. The only thing that's somewhat cool about it is it does let you upload your own images to it and display them as like a permanent piece of customization. But then, at the same time, what a tremendous waste of battery life. But this is where the real fun comes with a mechanical keyboard. The actual key mechanism. There's so many different types of key mechanism you can go for. Some are ultra clicky and typewriter-like, but you can also go all the way to the complete opposite, like super short key travel and no noise at all. Oh, yes. This is one of the best keyboards I've ever felt in my life. These feel about halfway in between those two extremes. They're quite low travel so that you can press very quickly, but they also really let you feel when each key has been pressed, which is really useful for games because in a way then you're looking at your screen and your keyboard is reinforcing to you that you are indeed pressing the things that you think you're pressing. You can also really feel the gasket structure, which is basically a layer of rubber that absorbs the vibration. It makes clicking softer, but it also means that when I click this key, for example, that impact feels completely isolated from the key sitting right next to it. So let's add the phone into that mix. And it really feels like there's someone at the Hasbro company whose entire job is just to hand out licensing deals for Transformers-themed gadgets. I'm pretty sure we've seen more limited edition Transformers products than like any other brand ever. Not that I'm complaining though, they do look amazing. So the phone comes in a hexagonal box. Kind of poetic for a Bumblebee, now I think about it. There's a gaming fan, which looks every bit as extreme as you'd want it to on a phone this price. A metal badge. This is not half-hearted stuff too. I am on board. The charger, featuring Bumblebee's not so pretty face on it. And it's a very fast charger too, but I'll get back to that. What's in here? SIM ejector, which has the Autobots logo. Oh, manuals. With every page also in theme. Clap, clap. And a case with a magnetic ring, which looks like it's specifically designed for this cooling fan to attach. And then the phone. Oh, no, it keeps going. There's not one, but 2 USB-C cables. One yellow, one black. Holy cow, guys. I'm just thinking actually, does this case allow it to work with Apple MagSafe? Okay, so, yeah, it snaps in. It's just, the phone doesn't have any wireless charging support. Well, that feels intuitive. I have to say, this thing looks so good. If I was not a blue and white kind of guy, I would be a yellow and black guy. It is still a glass-backed phone, but they've really made it look like metal with this whole plate behind it, and you can even see the exposed actual black metal screws. It's very fitting for a robot-themed phone. And this fan is also pretty next level. This is a new gen cooler that extends the refrigeration area to now cover basically the entire contact surface, but also it can now constantly monitor the temperature inside of the phone and scale its own output according to the needs of the phone, but with the ability to cool the phone down by up to 30 degrees Celsius if needed. I'm actually so hot right now. Oh my goodness me. That is the best thing ever. It's insane. It's like a handheld refrigerator. Oh, it's so reliably, consistently cold. And it's not cool, this is cold. Cold to the touch. I mean, just to give you an idea, a 30-degree difference is enough to take you from a hot room into a room so cold that you would get frostbite if you stayed there. You try it? Are you a fan? Oh, also, the charger that you saw. This thing right here can do 165 watt fast charging, which is a pretty absurd figure. So the phone is empty right now. Let's plug it in and come back in a few minutes to see just how fast. 3, 2, 1, go. And it's already off. How's it at 1% already? Now, I don't know if this is just a British thing, but it feels to me like Harry Potter was such a massive part of everyone's childhood. Every Christmas, Drisha and I basically do a movie marathon of the entire series. And that's why seeing it all in tech form, which is like my current passion, hits so hard for me. We actually have seen a Harry Potter phone before, but this is meant to be the next level up from that. Plus, there's now a Harry Potter tablet too. So let's get into the phone first. My goodness. It feels like one of those interactive storybooks. This is an image of Diagon Alley, by the way. If you know, you know. Then the phone. And behind it, that's the sword of Godric Gryffindor. Is this some sort of code for something? I can't figure it out. Please tell me we're actually getting a sword in here. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, well, it's a 90-watt charger and cable. Well, that's a bummer. But to be fair, it's actually impressively small for a 90-watt charging brick. It's about the same size as Apple's 27-watt one. There's a second compartment. I like the SIM ejector. That's the Hogwarts school emblem. And on the inside, I love this case. It feels very much designed with this specific version of the phone in mind. And then on the inside is a soft felt finish with a Dementor carved in, which is not going to be enough to suck the fun out of this for me. There's actually so much going on here. Considering that the phone at a glance doesn't actually look messy, they have crammed in a lot of Easter eggs. You know, I'm not even the resident Harry Potter expert. Can you help me out?
I love this. This is so awesome.
Okay, so what are all these?
Okay, so I actually have no idea what these are. I know what all of these are. That's the Hogwarts emblem.
Draco Dormiens Nunquam Titilandus.
It's actually really strange. It sounds really fancy, and it means never tickle a sleeping dragon.
What?
Yeah. I think it's meant to be like, you know the quote, let sleeping dogs lie. It's like, if you see a sleeping dragon, don't tickle it.
Noted. What are all these things?
So these are all the 7 Horcruxes. Is it a spoiler if I explain a Horcrux?
Is there such thing as Harry Potter spoilers at this stage?
Voldemort's split his soul into 7 different pieces so that he can't die just by someone killing him. So the 7 different things that he split into, these are the 7 things, so 7 items.
So cool. It's Harry's lightning bolt where the flash is, and then it says Lumos, because that's where you're lighting up from.
And Lumos is a spell for light.
Would you switch from an iPhone to this?
Yes.
Hand it over. Hand it over.
I'd switch for this backing.
This is a verbal contract. Oh, I've just realized the curvature on this case perfectly matches the curvature on the phone, such that when you put them together, that's how you do it. That is how you do it. It's shocking that I'm so surprised by this, but you'd be amazed how many companies don't think to match their case designs with the phone designs. 64%. 64%. How long has it been?
15.5 minutes.
That is extremely fast. Just before we turn it all on, the tablet is something completely new. Similarly, really tasteful box design. It looks a lot like the excellent book cover art that we've had over the years. What is in this? It's not the tablet, but it's so heavy. Oh, the back has the long quote from the Sorting Hat trying to decide whether to put Harry in Slytherin or Gryffindor. What? Oh my goodness. It's a Hogwarts invitation letter, but like also a proper leather-like carrying case with a magnet where the stamp is. I don't think I've ever been fanboying as hard as I am right now with this limited edition. And then inside is this another case? Yeah, it looks like a hard case as a second option, but hats off. No pun intended, to whoever made this. This is a surreal experience. And then there's another little slide-out box which has stickers. 4 pages of stickers. Okay, then underneath the tablet, 3 more boxes. Oh man, don't tell me we're going to be able to control this thing with a wand. Okay. Oh, that's still pretty cool though. It's a wand-colored, very clearly custom stylus with Harry's lightning bolt next to the charging port. In here is a SIM ejector tool and then manuals. And in the final box is... Oh, you were doing so well. It's just a standard white power brick and cable. Right, let's see what the boot up screens look like. Oh, that was kind of funky. Smoke and mirrors. The tablet was a bit less interesting. So the theming on this phone is... It's okay. It's a little half-hearted, I would say. Some icons are completely gold, others have a little gold ring, but they're still their normal colors. There's actually very little they've done to this phone. The folders look cool, I guess. Oh, this is cool. The always-on display has this smoke disappearing effect. Is this the Ravenclaw diadem?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. So look at this, it's like smoke effects. Oh wait, no, it's changing. Oh, that's even cooler, because that's one of the other Horcruxes.
Which one?
The Locket of Voldemort.
Technically correct.
Thank you. Wait, so then every time you turn your phone on and off, it cycles to a new Horcrux. Wow, that's wicked. What about when you plug it in? Oh, it's kind of cool. Also just realized there's a little wizard's hat on the lock screen. Ooh, no way. Quick way to change your wallpaper between the various houses. Isn't it kind of crazy that we live in a time where this whole package was $500? Like all the effort and thought that went into this limited edition, but even forgetting all of that, just how much phone you now get. Like this thing right here is a nearly top of the line chip. It's a nice OLED display. It's 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage, 50 megapixel main camera using Sony's Light 600 sensor, which is part of a whole new range of sensors, which are designed for mid-range phones, but I wonder if they're specifically better since it is a brand new range. Okay, so let's compare Drish's old phone to Drish's new phone. Oh no. The Harry Potter phone photo is atrocious compared to the iPhone. The difference is actually insane. Oh yeah, I've been wanting to do this for a while. Lumos.
以下结果来自百度。
Okay, it's meant to turn the flashlight on. The tablet's design is a lot simpler than the phone's design, which is strange considering it has 4 times the canvas size to play with. But I'm assuming they've done that because of the stickers. Oh, I've just realized they've themed each one of these pages after one of the houses. I think I'm a Ravenclaw.
Oh, bloody hell, here we go.
I don't know what any of these items are.
I think you're a Ravenclaw.
So this is a 120Hz 12.1 inch display, which is quite a nice size, but it's only an LCD screen. I guess because your screen is going to be a much bigger part of the cost of a tablet than it is on a phone, you can save a lot by going for LCD versus OLED. But you can tell, it looks pretty washed out and is not nearly as bright as the phone. The thing is also just a lot less powerful than the phone, in every way, like less powerful chip, less RAM, less storage, and it's a bit weird because your tablet, especially big tablets like this, are usually where your proper work happens. I'm guessing the company just decided that all of these Harry Potter products, they need to be affordable, and to make a tablet as affordable as a phone, you need to cut more corners. Or, you know, Voldemort secretly their business manager. So this is the Redmi Smart Pen. I've just connected via Bluetooth. It's actually surprisingly responsive. And it's got not one, but two different buttons on it. So I can use one of them to cycle between which instrument I'm writing with, and the other one cycles between the color. That's actually really well executed. And that one has just turned to 100%. How long?
Exactly 30 minutes. Exactly
30. Okay, so the second half of charging is definitely slower than the first half, but that's to be expected, and it's actually got really, really hot. Now that it's charged, let's actually have a little look at this phone. Whoa. You cannot say they don't try. Oh, that wallpaper. Bumblebee is meant to be a pretty fast guy, so it's kind of cool that every single time you leave an app, they've got this interactive wallpaper in which he zips forward back into frame. And they also give you quite a lot of different always-on display options too. I feel like Transformers fans really get treated. Man, this just makes me think. Red Magic phones, they're not perfect. You know, they do need to work on their camera quality and their software a bit, but also, holding this in my hands right now, I can't shake the feeling that this, as a slab of hardware, is perfected. I love the two-tone finish on the back. I love the smooth matte sides, the slim borders of the phone, and the fact that they're completely even. Plus, the front camera is invisible. I just feel like as a concept, this right here is what we've been dreaming of ever since the very first smartphone. Now I've got to give a rating for all of these. Okay, 6, 7, this gets a 9. And a sub to the channel would be transformative. Now for something that I 100% guarantee you did not see coming. This is the Minions edition of Insta360's go-to camera. I won't lie to you, I can't stand the Minions. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I nearly walked out of the cinema during Minions 3, and I just drove past the cinema the other day to see that there's another one coming and I nearly hurled. But I'm also someone who can appreciate a really well-themed limited edition. So this is the camera. And what I really like about it is that it feels purposeful. You can really tell that this collab didn't come about from like, which brand is going to bring the biggest media attention to our product? But instead, hey, our camera already kind of looks like a Minion. Wouldn't it be funny if? It is a really high quality paint job. And it's just such a fun, thumb-sized way to record some actually pretty decent looking 1440p video. But this, at its core, is a Go 2, whereas the company's actually just launched their next generation Go 3S and is sponsoring this video so I can give you an early look at it. Essentially, they've taken the perks of all their previous Go cameras, that they weigh less than 40 grams, that they come with all the magnets and attachments that let you place them basically anywhere, but now with a big focus on video quality. Because this now shoots in 4K resolution. They made a 40-gram camera that shoots 4K. I have pens that weigh more than 40 grams, so I have no idea what they've done to make that happen. Whenever I use these Go cameras, this is how I do it. So you put the included magnetic necklace on, and the camera just snaps in place. It automatically turns itself on, it turns itself off, it records snippets throughout your day, and it can even edit them for you to the beat of a song. And also, now with the 3S, if you ever lose it, you can find it with Apple's Find My, and you can connect it to the Action Pod to turn it into a full-on vlogging-style camera with a rotating screen and 140 minutes of battery life per charge. So link below to check it out with a free extra screen protector. I've also realized something really cool about this watch. It rotates the watch face based on which way up I'm looking at it. Now this confuses me. This is the limited edition Strawberry Bear phone. Here's the thing, even with his cute, fluffy, strawberry-scented exterior, this guy is one of the main villains from Toy Story. Why does he get his own limited edition? Anyways, in the first box, oh, it actually smells like strawberry, like really noticeably. So there's a case. I've no idea what this is. A bracelet? Juvenile handcuffs? And this is maybe a phone stand? Wait, let me just take a sniff. Wow. It literally smells like I've dived headfirst into a cinema pick and mix stand. So then the phone box, you can see the word Lotso written everywhere, which is actually short for Lotso Huggin' Bear. You know, the character's actual name. A SIM ejector with his cursed face stamped onto it. There's an insert with an About Me card, goodness me, a page of matte stickers, and then a completely clear case. There's the phone below which, nothing really of note, it looks like. Okay, so does the phone smell of strawberry? No, it doesn't. So what's the deal with this Lotso bear? Well, turns out he is super popular in China. He is mass-produced, he's unusually fluffy for a villain, and he smells like strawberry. Like, very literally. Oh my god, it's so good. And so he's actually become a bit of a sensation outside of his real origin. People are buying him as the Strawberry Bear, not even knowing what he's from or who he was. This is the guy who tried to kill Woody, Buzz, and the gang. The phone itself has basically the same design as the case. It's like very nearly cute with all the fruit patterned across it and the soft gold highlights going around the trim. But then you look down and shivers. The bear's face is like, no joke, 3D sculpted onto the back of this, so I can feel every contour. This dude makes me so uneasy with his like eyebrows and face. It's very, very immediately clear though how much thought has gone into this skin. And even the wallpaper almost looks like real fur you're touching. Let's have a look at the charging animation. No way! Strawberries are just falling into his hand. Like, so much effort has gone into this and it's so strange. Well, I just realized also, they've developed a custom font for the lock screen clock. Every part of this user interface looks like you could stroke it. So apparently we should have custom Lotso frames that we can use around our photos. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely atrocious. Thanks, Strawberry Bear. I hate it. But probably the craziest part of this whole thing is that Lotso Bear should also be your assistant here. Whoa. To think this dude is hiding within your software skin at all times. But I have to give credit where credit's due. For what it is, it's really cool to get actually scented stuff. And I realized the reason I wasn't completely sure what this is because I couldn't see how it attaches to your phone. Well, magnets. There's a ring of magnets in this case, which allows the bear to just snap on. And that is your phone stand. And then if you really well and truly want to create a monster, then this weird lanyard handcuff thing attaches to the bottom like so. Who is this for? Who would buy this? I think this is meant to be endearing, but it feels like a form of torture. I mean, as far as the execution goes, I feel like it's hard to argue that this is not a 10 out of 10, but it's just that the idea feels like a 2 to me. I think I've got some weird strawberry bear phobia. I'm not a fan. Now, with the majority of limited edition phones, they're not actually more expensive than the company's normal phones. They're not really designed for profit, but instead just made in really small quantities to create a sort of buzz. But when Lamborghini gets involved, that changes a little. This is the $900 Redmi Champion Edition. And bear in mind, $900 is a pretty monumental cost for a company who sells most of their phones at like $400 or less. The SIM ejector is a little bland, but I like the carbon fiber style backing. Oh, and the case is nice too. If I had to guess, I would say that car company cases are like the most faked type of case. So it's cool to see an official one, which is designed to have the same finish as a steering wheel, apparently. I've just realized, even all the pull tabs are also custom shaped to match Lamborghini's sharp design language. There's a charger underneath, also branded, and 120 watts. It's very nippy. Then the smartphone and the cable beneath that. Oof. Oh, wow. Now, to be completely real with you, I personally find Lamborghini cars pretty disappointing. I don't own one, hell no, but I've done these like driving experiences, and every time I do one, I'm constantly surprised at how poor the technology is within what's meant to be a super car. Like, genuinely a Hyundai at a 20th of the price has better tech. That said, the aesthetics of Lamborghinis are drool-worthy, and this seems to be mostly borrowing that, which makes it, in my books, the nicest looking and feeling Redmi phone I have ever held in my hands. And the actual Lamborghini logo looks like real gold, even though it probably isn't. There's so much detail in the top section. And then the bottom section mirrors that same Lamborghini-style chevron. But even the lanyard has the same chevron. And then you use that chevron to place it within the case so that when the phone is on top of it, the lanyard completely supports its weight. Pretty neat brand integration. It's literally you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Let's see the booty. Whoa. I see the appeal of that. I guess you could also say that this has Lambo performance too. This might genuinely be the most specced out phone I've ever held in my hands. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, 24 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM, 1 terabyte of UFS 4.0 storage, 5,000 mAh battery, 120 watt super fast charging. So some part of me's thinking, should I switch to this? It also says the display goes up to 4,000 nits of brightness. My S24 Ultra is rated at 2,600. Although I wouldn't take that to mean that this display is 40% brighter than this display. It's basically just because the way that peak brightness numbers are measured can be very specific use case, so you can't apply those numbers to the general use of the phone. The software skin is actually kind of cool. Everything is hexagonal, but at the same time, how did not one person involved in this look at this weather widget and think, yeah, maybe just at the very least, let's not include that on the default home screen? I'm kind of curious, how do the cameras on this compare to the cameras on my phone? If they are actually better, then I might just do this. Let's give it a go. I'm actually not sure. Tell you what, I'm gonna put these two images on screen. You guys tell me which one you think is better. Maybe I will switch. Now, just before we get to the biggest limited edition thing that I've ever opened, let's take a look at the most expensive phone. So you saw the $900 Lamborghini phone, right? But what can Porsche cook up with Honor for over 3 times that price? You can really tell that you're opening something expensive this time round by the sheer volume of packaging. Oh, they couldn't have made a non-stick label. Seriously, Honor? Okay, we're in. So this is a stylus. I do appreciate how it's included in the box. It makes a big difference when an accessory is the default option. But wow, does this company not know how to use sticky tabs. The phone feels really, really light, but we'll get to that. Oh, 3 boxes underneath. I like the look of this middle one. So that is a Porsche designed SIM ejector, and inside is a beautiful looking case. Yes, please. Looks like the same stitching that you get in the seats of a Porsche. What's this? I think it's a pen case? Wow, it really is beautiful though. It's really hard to communicate the quality to through the camera, but it feels designer. Also pretty slick how every single accessory so far is matte black. I feel like I'm unboxing a full in-theme EDC kit. Even these throwaway inserts, they're not like plain cardboard texture. It feels like the real deal. Okay, the cable is pretty standard, and the charger, oh my god, that's 3 times now. It's definitely not me. But yeah, the charger looks pretty basic too. So what's in here? Oh, it's the same thing. So cable and then power brick. Oh, but this one's a UK power brick instead of Europe. Well, there are definitely much more efficient ways to give you both options, but yeah, I guess at $3,000, they just do not care. They're just pretty happy to throw stuff at you. 4 times. 4 times, Honor. What are you doing? So this is the iconic Porsche Flyline, this kind of swooshing ridge shape that you get along the panels of their cars. The camera module is designed to look like a Porsche windshield, and the color is Porsche's agate gray. I mean, I can kind of buy it. Like, if you're a real fan of their cars, then seeing that exact shade of gray on their phone, maybe? But to me, gray is just gray. You'd really have to know to know. And this iconic Flyline they talk up so much, it doesn't really look much different to the ridge on the Lamborghini phone, or really any other ridge I've seen. It all just feels a little bit trivial. It's like we partnered with legendary car maker Porsche to create a crease on the back of our phone. That said, the design is not just for show. This phone, as well as titanium lettering in the camera, also has a super light titanium hinge. And to give them credit, it is shockingly slim and light. This is 234 grams. That's less than the weight of an iPhone 14 Pro Max. But that is wild for a folding phone with literally 2 times the screen area. And this software skin actually feels very sophisticated compared to the ones we've tested before. They haven't themed every single icon, but because the theming itself is so subtle, it doesn't look like a mess. Also, both screens just generally look and feel really responsive and bright and colorful. The stylus feels amazing. It's actually quite nice because it's got a rubberized tip, and I've been really used to using the Apple Pencil, and every time you touch the screen with that, it feels like you're hitting it. I gotta hand it to them, it's a really polished system. And I love the fact that the pen works on both the inner screen and the outer screen. You know, this is actually the first time I'm using a stylus that I genuinely think rivals the iPad with the Apple Pencil. Only thing is, because of this rubberized tip, it actually creates a little bit of resistance when you're writing, so you have to push a little bit harder. But this is apparently a sports car class fiberglass body, which is cool in that fiberglass is much stronger than normal glass, but at the same time, fiberglass is basically just reinforced plastic. So I wonder if it actually scratches easier. I hate the fact that I have to do this. I bought this with my own money, but science. Sometimes I am my own biggest problem. So what we want is Mohs hardness pick level 6, because this will do basically nothing to the back of iPhone's glass. But now let's try the Porsche design. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Yeah, that's pretty rough. Oh no. I wanted it to survive that. But okay, now we're at it. Even the screen is meant to be something quite different. This is Honor's anti-scratch nano-crystal shield. They're basically saying that partly thanks to a film of silicon nitride, which fittingly is actually a material used in real car engines, this will stay as good as new even without a protective film, with 10 times more wear and drop resistance versus competitors, which, I mean, if they actually deliver on that, is like all I've ever been asking for on the phone. So let's flip them over. Right, so we'll start with level 7 this time. So on the iPhone, doesn't really do much, to be honest. Okay, so now the Honor. Ooh, okay, nothing at all. So let's try level 8. So far, I haven't used a single phone that hasn't been damaged by level 8. Okay, so iPhone. Yikes. Okay, that carved right through it. And now Honor. Okay. There is damage, but it's quite a bit lighter than it was on the iPhone. So I guess silicon nitride works. We've got to see more companies trying this. Oh yeah, there's one thing this phone can apparently do that I've been really wanting to try. It's meant to be able to detect motion and capture automatically. If I pop this up here, and then, let's say I just jump in the air. It literally captured me toppling over at the end. I think the feature needs some work. I think this is such an interesting limited edition though. 9 out of 10. Time for the big boy box. This is something we've never seen before on this series. A limited edition, full-on gaming PC. So this is based off Evangelion's Unit 2. Evangelion is a show all about people piloting mechas to defeat enemies who threaten humanity, called angels. And this mecha is piloted by one of the main characters, Asuka. Wow. I don't even know where to start. I feel like very few people get to actually go hands-on with something like this. You can see ROG branding across the sides, because this was actually made in collaboration between Asus Republic of Gamers and Overclockers UK. And I just can't quite believe the quality of the finish. This is cool tech. But also, the really cool thing about having a custom gaming PC is it's not just the PC case, it's like everything on the inside. Like I'm just peeking my head in, but I can already see so many references to Evangelion, to Asuka, to her specific mecha. Oh, it looks like a crystal-etched LED lit kind of backing. They've done the entire power supply enclosure, the graphics card. The graphics card itself is custom Evangelion. This is one of the coolest pieces of technology I've ever interacted with. But also, when have you ever seen a CPU cooler with an actual LCD display on it? So it's giving you all sorts of different system readings like CPU temperature, GPU temperature, the current clock speed as well. I mean, in a way, it's incredibly pointless because all of these stats are already communicated internally anyway. But you can also use the screen to display an infinitely looping GIF. I'm just putting that out there. Not that I have any plans of what I would infinitely loop. I've also never seen a power supply that actively in real time displays the current wattage being supplied. Also, 188 watts for an idle PC is quite a large amount. I feel like I can't look at a single part of this PC and not see a reference to the show. Like even the backplate over here reminds me of the metal armor plating of the mecha. Oh yeah, they've also braided every single cable red and black. It's also actually wild how girthy graphics cards have become. Like this GPU riser here, I'm pretty sure is the only thing keeping this upright. It even extends to the outside of the case. This is a magnetically attachable external Wi-Fi antenna for the Wi-Fi 6E that it has. But let's see what it can do, because the specs are redonkulous. Like, I'm talking 14th gen Intel Core i9 with a boost speed of up to 6 gigahertz, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 2 terabyte M2 NVMe SSD, oh yeah, and the custom NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 graphics card. This is the creme de la creme of current gen performance. Okay, so we're in Cyberpunk 2077, and this is the fun bit, because I'm not going to go low, medium, high, or ultra. I am going to go into overdrive. Wow, those fans really work. I wonder what the wattage is right now. 643 watts. Oh, haven't even clicked play yet. Holy cow. Oh, this is something else. It's like I've seen really impressive graphics on games before, but this is like that, but then with another cinematic layer on top. It's got really high quality motion blur. Like every time I run, I feel like I'm in one of those high octane fight sequences, but also the lighting. Everything has this really subtle, soft glow. I've never actually played Cyberpunk myself because the bugs were apparently so bad, but this really makes me want to give it a shot. The fact that I can crank the settings to these kinds of levels and not even worry about performance. Wow. I hope you found this as cool as I did. I'll link you to the next RAREST Tech video around there. See you there.